What's going on, guys? It's your boy Andy Matrix, and today we're gonna look at some Japanese news. If you guys ever wonder why the Japanese are struggling so much, why they're not having kids, why the economy is going down, why they have all these problems, well, similar to America, in a way, similar to America, the leadership is outdated, meaning that the people that are running the show uh, they're not keeping up with what's really happening. They still have these old values, like this boomer mentality. They still think that the world is still running like it was in the 1970s and 1980s, right? So let's go ahead and see. So I'm here first post YouTube channel. It says sleep is optional. Japan's prime minister sparks global work-life balance debate. Let's go ahead and see what they gotta say.
Tokyo, the sun rises early. In Tokyo, the sun rises early, anywhere between 5 and 7 a.m., depending on the season, of course. But even the sun has someone beating it to the punch. Japan's new Prime Minister, Sanae Takaichi. Last week, while most of Tokyo was deep asleep, Prime Minister Takaichi summoned her aides to the office. The time was 3 a.m. 3 in the morning. The mission was to prepare for a budget committee hearing, one that was scheduled just 6 hours later. And here's the thing, this meeting was not unusual. For Prime Minister Takaichi, this is routine, a lifestyle carved from the old Japanese creed, work, work, work. The Prime Minister says she sleeps for just 2 hours, 4.
This short lady, this Prime Minister, sleeps for 2 hours? Listen, man, if I only get 2 hours of sleep, I'll start throwing punches. If I get only 2 hours of sleep, I'll get into a car crash. If I get only 2 hours of sleep, my friends, I think I will die quicker.
If she is lucky. Takaichi admits it is bad for her skin, but for her career, apparently it is doing wonders. And she wants it for her colleagues too.
So she only gets 2 hours of sleep and she thinks it's amazing?
Takaichi has asked her party members to work like a horse. Now, all of this may sound inspirational, the Prime Minister working day and night, but the context here is very important. Because this is Japan we are talking about. This is a country that has a word called karoshi. Do you know what it means?
Mm-hmm.
It means death by overwork. The Japanese literally have a word for it. Karoshi is death by overwork.
So a lot of these animators too, not just office workers, but a lot of these animators that, make your favorite anime, some of them die on the job. Do you guys remember that that one of the animators from Attack on Titan had baggy eyes, had like really baggy eyes? It looked like he got punched in the face. Yeah, that's one of the reasons. What do you think so many people quit and then they go work at a ramen shop somewhere?
It is something that Japan has seen a lot of. It is tied to their national story. You see, Japan's economy boomed through the 1970s and 1980s. People thought it was hard work. Well, some of it was. But the growth was also because their industries were modern, their unions were disciplined, and their savings were high. The long hours were a cultural expression. They were not an economic necessity. Yet, the culture only hardened. So much so that it started taking lives. That's what gave birth to the term karoshi. And it continues till date. Even today, the average Japanese citizen sleeps for 7 hours and 1 minute. That is 38 minutes less than the global average. The workday does not end when you leave your office. You have to hang out with your colleagues. You have to have a drink with your boss. You have to eat ramen at midnight with.
Yeah, and you see, a lot of us romanticize Japan, but many Japanese that live in Japan find this annoying that after work you have to go drinking with your coworkers. You have to go drinking with the boss. You have to. And if you don't, when you go back to the office, they're not even gonna they're not gonna pay much attention to you. So it's like it's almost like office bullying in a way. You might not get a promotion, man. Owning your own business is starting to sound more and more so much better,
acquaintances, and only then does your workday end. It's both problematic and unsustainable. So when the Prime Minister of this country says sleep is optional, it reinforces a culture that is already punishing people.
Sleep is optional? Sleep is optional? If we don't sleep, we die. You know how many diseases, how many like mental problems and illnesses come from a lack of sleep? It's true. It comes from a lack of sleep. What do you think you got so many of these Japanese businessmen, these salarymen that fall asleep on the road, on the street? They probably sit down somewhere, they close their eyes. Next thing they know, they wake up, it's freaking 7 in the morning, at the Harajuku Park or somewhere on the sidewalks of Tokyo. I mean, Japan is killing its own people. And they cannot pretend. They cannot pretend like they do not understand what the problem is. They cannot pretend like they do not know what the solution is. They know what the solution is. They just don't care.
Japan is already tired, its workers are tired, and it shows in their plummeting birth rate. But here's the other problem. Takaichi is not alone in this gospel of tirelessness. In fact, she joins a global...
Man, look, how old is she? She has to be like 50 or 60 years old. Because, Japanese, well, Asian people in general, they age much slower. So you see, there's no, unless she's using hair dye, I don't see a white hair on this lady. But usually Asian people, they'll get some wrinkles as they get older, but their hair, they don't get a lot of white hair until they're like 70, 80 years old. Western people, Latinos and Western people, we start getting gray hair at the age of 30 or 40, right? So this lady, she looks like she gets her full-on 7-8 hours of sleep. So don't give me that bull crap. Otherwise, her eyelids will look all bulbed up. Like she got a bruise or something. You cannot tell me you only get 2 hours of sleep and you function throughout the day, man. That is a lie.
Global choir of high achievers.
Oh, wait, hold on. One more thing I got to say. I heard that Eiichiro Oda, the manga artist of One Piece, I heard he only gets like 3 hours of sleep. And he said it in an interview. How do they survive? If I don't get enough sleep, man, I'll die. This can't be just a Japanese thing. Is this genetic? Like, is this genetic? Like, do they have like this gene, this mutation where like they can go without sleep for a long time without like, getting some freaking illness or mental problem?
Those who swear by brutal hours. Elon Musk once said, no one changed the world working 40 hours a week. Jeff Bezos says he prefers work-life harmony, not balance. Narayan Murthy wants India to try a 70-hour work week.
70-hour work week, my ass. If I work 70 hours a week, I'll die. See, and that's the problem. It's these corporations. Because, in Japan, obviously Japan got all these corporations, Toyota, Honda, Mitsubishi, the gaming companies, Nintendo, PlayStation, and a whole bunch of other companies, right? All the banks, and Japan has a lot of old corporations. And with all these old corporations come a lot of a very old mentality that you need to work until you die. You need to work until you can't anymore. Right? And this is why the Japanese Gen Z, they have no desire. They have no desire because of this. Like, you don't want to spend your entire life working if there is no joy in your life. And also another thing is, people do not want to make their job home. Like, I don't want to make my cubicle my home, dude. I don't want to do that. I want to go back to my apartment where I got posters of anime, my video games, and my Bible, in my prayer room, right? You know what I mean? Nobody wants to make their office their freaking home. It's not home. It's your job. You wake up and you know you got to clock in. Or you wake up, you know your supervisor or manager is going to ask you to do something. But the Japanese don't see it like that. Well, it's mainly the boomer Japanese, the boomer, and some of the Gen X too. It's this old work mentality. The company comes first, and it is a privilege for you to work here. Look, I like Japan. I like Japanese culture, but this is one of the biggest turnoffs about Japan is the work culture. The work culture literally kills. And they wonder, oh, well, our population is going down. Well, what the fuck? What were you expecting? Nobody wants to die for your company.
Jack Ma once called a 12-hour, 6-day schedule a blessing.
Oh, yeah, I heard about this. The 996, the 9 in the morning to 9 p.m., 6 days a week in China. Whew. Woo! And this is one of the things that I do like about America, that, here we work hard, but we chill, man. We chill out. We get vacations.
Nui says work-life balance does not exist. Shah Rukh Khan once said, rest is a sin. There's a clear pattern here. Successful people often believe the secret to success is more work, more hours, more sacrifice, more coffee.
Rest is a sin. Look, as a Christian, I can tell you, if you read the Bible, even in the Bible, God gave us a day off, the Shabbat, right? Because he knows that it is not good for men to just work. There has to be a day of rest. No rest, no progress.
Sounds nice because it sounds true. And effort does matter. Commitment matters. Nobody wins a marathon by jogging for 15 minutes a day. But here's the unspoken truth. These people are exceptions. They are statistical anomalies. If everyone did what they do, we would not become a planet of Elon Musk's, and thank God for that. We would become a planet of burnout.
Exactly.
So what do? The answer is tricky. Hard work does matter. No nation, no company, no individual grows on leisure alone. But there is a limit to human productivity. No one, not even the most successful people on earth, can outrun biology forever. You can push your body. You can stretch your mind. But if you live your entire life at 3 a.m., eventually something cracks.
Yeah.
The very thing that makes work worth doing, your ideas, your energy, they start fading when you run on fumes. So maybe the real lesson is not work like a horse. Maybe it's this: work hard when you must, but also rest when you can. In the end, work-life balance is about sustainability.
Exactly. And it's just, I don't know, man. It's like the mentality of some of these people, like this new lady. What's her name? The new Prime Minister of Japan. I don't know her freaking name. I'll write it here somewhere. But this lady up here, the new Prime Minister of Japan, like, come on, girl. Come on. You seriously telling me you only get 2 hours of sleep? Like, you get 2 hours of sleep, and then what? You sleep and you dream of work? You wake up and you go to work? No, man. People need leisure. People need time off. That's why Japanese people are quitting. Like, in Japan, there's people that they go missing. They intentionally go missing because they're sick of their work culture. They're sick of it. And I know here in the West, we romanticize Japan, and I love Japan, but this is the biggest flaw in Japanese culture. It's the work life run by the Japanese boomers. Run by the Japanese boomers, because of course, if this doesn't stop, this is just another one of the leaders that are gonna have to be pushed out of the office. They're gonna have to get rid of her, or she's gonna have to listen to the people. Gen Z in Japan better rise up against this bitch, because I mean, 3 a.m. meetings at 3 in the morning 2 hours sleep, and then what? Go back to work for another 12 hours? You're never why would you even bother renting an apartment? You're never there. You don't live, you don't even go to your apartment anymore. Might as well just, live in, internet cafes and just stay there. This is crazy. This is crazy, bro. This needs to change, man. This needs to change. If you're in Japan, it's better to work in Japan as an English teacher than to work at a corporation in Japan. It's better to go in Japan and start your own business than to get a job in Japan. I can't do this. I can't do the 2 hours of sleep. You know what I would do? What I would do is I will get myself fired. Like, I will save up enough money and then I will get myself fired, and then I don't know, I'll go and do something else. There's Japanese people that are leaving Japan. They're literally trying to get out of Japan. Going to the Philippines, going to Thailand, just to chill, man, to chill out. And get some relief. Get some, release some steam, bro. Anyways, I'm done ranting. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think? I mean, don't you think that this new prime minister, what the heck is her name? Sanae Takaichi. Sanae Takaichi. Don't you think she's absolutely nuts? Because I bet you, even like the CEOs, they're not gonna get just 2-3 hours of sleep. No, hell no. Minimum 6. Minimum 6 hours of sleep. Fuck that shit. I don't care what these successful entrepreneurs say, man. If I don't get my 8 hours of sleep, I'll start throwing punches. I'll punch somebody. And I'm not trying to be violent, but like, I need my sleep. I'll collapse. If I get in the car and I'm too sleepy, I'll crash. They gotta do something about this, man. Anyways, whatever your thoughts are, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to comment below, like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for future notifications. Guys, it's your boy in the Matrix. Godspeed.